What's going on? So today I'm going to show you how you can turn a 2D image into a 3D model very easy and fast using Blender. So let's go ahead, completely beginner friendly, no prior experience needed. Let's go and get into it. So here we are in Blender. I'm using version 3.3.1. Got the screencast keys in the bottom left so you can see what I click and type. And let's go ahead and press number 1 on the keyboard. Go ahead and click here, press X and delete. And real quick, before we continue, let's go ahead and go to Edit, Preference, Add-ons, and basically go here to Extra Objects, Add Mesh Ones, and there we go. Make sure you have that checked. And what we're going to do is we're going to need a reference image. Since we are converting a 2D image into 3D, it makes life easier if we have exactly what we want. So I'm going to do Shift A, and we're going to go to Image right here, and reference image. Now I'll include a link to the one I'm using down below. However, if you have a personal image, feel free, but for this one we're gonna have to focus on the one I'm using for now. So let me upload that really quick. So here we have our reference image, and what I want to do is make it even with this red line. So I'm gonna do G and Z and bring it up right here. Now it's gonna be a little difficult to see fully, so go here to this little icon, click on opacity, and change this to, like, let's see, 0.5, and zoom back in. And now we can do GZ and then move it just right there. Now, since this is only the front view, we don't have side views, but for the sake of this one, we really don't need it. But it is better if you did happen to have top view, side view, any type of view to make it easier to make the 3D, then that definitely helps. But let's go ahead and do G to move, Y, and we'll move it like 3-4 squares back. And then we press 1, now it looks normal. Now what we want to do is we want to make this unclickable. So I'm going to click on this little icon right here, and there's this little arrow mouse button. You want to click on that one, and now you'll see everything in the collection has this arrow. So we click this one, and now that makes it unclickable. That way it doesn't affect our design. So now I can press 1, and we can go ahead and start modeling this. So let's do Shift A, go here to Mesh. And what I'm going to be doing this time is we're going to go ahead, and you could do a cylinder, but I'm going to actually use a circle. And the reason is we're going to add a solidify modifier, but for the vertices, let's go ahead and do about 12, and then we can always change this. And right now you can see it looks like this, but like the front one is somewhat straight in this current view. And we can do RZ45. That way the front line or the face is like leveled, but not too crazy important. But for now, I'll keep it like this. Now we can go ahead and press 1, S to scale it, and we'll make it right about the same height as this cupcake thing. And for the empty, if you want to make it a little bit lower is okay, but now I want to tap into edit mode now. E to extrude it, Z to keep it straight, and click right about here. Then we're going to press S to scale, and then move it pretty much the same size. And now what we want to do is we want to add a loop cut, but let's go ahead and click on the wireframe and see where we're at. And I want to add one right about where this curve part starts. So I'm going to say Command R or Control R depending on your computer. And basically we'll click it and drag it right about, go right about there. And now we need to select these top vertices. And now what we need to do is bevel this, but if we do just Command B or Control B, you'll see that it doesn't work. So I hit Escape, and what we need to do, let me Command Z that. I'll select them again, and we'll do Command Shift B or Control Shift B, and then we'll see that it's moving. But if you press C, we can clamp it down. That way it doesn't pass its thing if you press C. See that? So now it won't go full past it. So I just click out. And you can see it's like somewhat rounded, but if you want to change up the way it looks, you can go here to percents. And then you want to just increase this percent, and now you can see if we go like fully around, basically like past 70 plus, it's pretty much, it's connecting, it's not passing it, but it's not fully essentially rounded like the original offset one. So again, it's just preference. That's just a cool little trick. And then we can just do A to select all, M, and basically merge by distance. And this should say root 24 vertices unless you use more faces earlier. And then for the most part, you can see now we have this design right here. So now let's go ahead and make it thicker add a modifier, and we have the skin under that one is solidified. So now thickness, we can change this up, and you can see it's getting a little bit thicker there. And I think 0.1 looks fine for me, and it's probably better to see like that. Take off wireframe, and so far that's what we got going on. So now we can right click, shade smooth, go over here to this green icon, normals, auto smooth it, and now we have it somewhat looking like this. Now the lighting, we can change the lighting and stuff to make it look better, but like on the face material, this is what it currently is looking like right now. And let's go ahead and start working on the decorations, aka the little cupcake frosting. So we can just do, we can name this, just say like the cake, I'll just say cake, I don't even remember what you call these names. Let's just say cake base. Cake base, let's make it life easy. And let's do Shift A. Well, actually, yeah, let's go to front face view. Shift A, and I want to add in a round cube. Again, you can add in a icosphere, whatever floats your boat, but, oh no, not that one, round cube. Change this to 1, and then G and Z, and drag it in like right here. And now we can scale it a little bit, GZ. And if you don't want this bond piece to be like that, you can scale it, but I want to just pretty much, when I go into wireframe mode, go to edit, and now I have proportional editing. You can click here, or you can just press O on your keyboard, and then pretty much click on the vertex, press G, and then this like gray circle around it is the strength that you have dependent on like how much you want your vertices to move. So the more you want it to move, then obviously the more it will, and then if you want it to move less, then it'll move less. So I'm going to select it by scrolling so I get both of the vertices here, and even these, and we're just going to shrink it down basically to match this this yellow guy right here real quick. And now we'll move these, and now you can see it's moving it quite a lot, so let's move it even the circle smaller like this and like that. And you're probably looking at this like crazily, but now if we were to go like to the normal view, this is what it somewhat looks like. So now we can add in a modifier, subdivision surface. We can do 2, shade this smooth, press 1, and for the most part, if you want to make it a lot easier, you can click on this option so you can see it like that, and then basically just try to fill it in. And for the most part, it looks solid to me. And then if I go to wireframe, it looks like it fits. Obviously this isn't perfect, but if you want to be exactly how it is, then obviously you can do that. But I think for the most part, design wise, it fits, and the view wise is basically what I'm trying to replicate. So now we can just call this one like call this yellow, just so we know what we're messing with. And we can just do Shift D, bring it up, and then go into wireframe again. And now we can just go here and pretty much go like this while we still have proportional editing, and just try to fit this guy in. And basically we could select everything and then take off proportional editing, pressing O, and scale it a little bit, and then G, move it in, then make it a little bit easier. But the only problem is the yellow, if we move it, you don't have to do proportional editing right now. What I'm doing, I'm just clicking, but if we go back to non-wireframe, you can see that this guy is covering a lot of the yellow. So we can press O, move them up a little bit, and basically try to get it to where in the visual it's not actually affecting the yellow, which I'll show you in a second. I'll just try to move these up more, and then take a wireframe, and see right now that doesn't look too pretty. So what I'm gonna do is Command Z this back, and one way we could fix that, let's just Command Z, make it look more rounded. Go back to wireframe view and just move these guys back down with the proportional editing, and then pretty much instead of moving it like that, you could technically scale this, take off proportional editing, scale on the Y, and make it like a smaller piece. And that way, if we see it now, in terms of the view, you'll just move it up a little bit, scale Y even more. That way you can see now the yellow piece. See how the yellow piece is now showing much more. And then obviously Again, it's depending on how this design is, but then if you want to move it back out, pressing O, you could definitely do that, and then, you know, make the shape more realistic looking in terms of the frosting. And then just move this guy out here, and then this one I'll keep it like somewhat out like this, and then move them like that, and I'll keep it like this. But again, from the front facing view, it will look kind of like this, and then we can just move some more vertices over, and you can go ahead and tweak that and perfect that to your own. But we can do Shift D again, scale this one down, G right here, select this guy, make sure we are in wireframe mode first, move them down, and basically just try to match it to this actual image we have here. So now I can do Shift D again, scale this one down here, we're gonna rotate this pressing R, tab, and then basically we'll go and just move these vertices over, and let's do here, make the a little bit smaller, and try to make this like a pointed piece. So now we got it like that, like this, and like that. And now we gotta go back to solid view and we'll look at how this looks. So right now it looks a little bit too indented. So what I wanna do is select some of these vertices and basically like puff it out somewhat. So let's see, like this, puff this out a little bit, and for the most parts you can play around with this, but the general idea you can see. And even right here I don't like this part, so let me move it up a little bit like that. This one right here, even these, and then same one on this one. Looks like this one's a little bit too indented, but for the most parts this is what we got going on. And then if you want to go ahead and we can change this to material preview now, look a little bit different. And I'll real quick go to file and save as, save your file real quick. And now we can go ahead and quick easy ways, we can go over here to this little corner where you see the cross and then drag over by holding and clicking. And then we can go here and basically this will be our preview. But then if you wanted to see like the rendered view, we'll just keep this as the rendered view. So now if I select this bottom base, and technically we can do viewport shading view, because when I hit new I can add a new color. So this should be like the base color, and feel free to name them whatever you want. And then we click on this little eyedropper tool and we just click like onto our mesh, we can see it saves us a color. So let's actually do over here Shift A, lights, let's add an area light, GZ, move it up, scale it a little bit, and let's just change this to like 500 really quick, and then GY, rotate on the X just so we can see, and press back 1. And right now technically this view also, I think it's Shift A, mesh, plane, scale it up, and let's see, yeah, scale it up like that. So definitely I think I need more light, so let me increase this real quick, more lighting, and we'll probably do another one. Let's do Shift D, GX, Option R, Alt R to fix the rotation, GZ now, and then rotate on the Y like that, and let's see, rotate X like that. So I think it's because this purple. So let's go back now to our wireframe and click on this this guy right here, and then pretty much change this to be brighter. So right now I think that's why it was way too dark. So I'll keep it kind of like that actually, and then we can adjust the lightings. And then let's go back here. We have new. Call this one yellow, and then basically, if you want to do the eyedropper tool, you can, but the only thing I don't like about the eyedropper tool is it's not as vibrant. The colors are not as bright. So I typically like to go over saturated and make it like super bright. And this might be way too bright. Let's try 200 here, and then this one let's try like 5. All right, maybe a little better. And then I want to click back on our yellow guy. You could also click over here too, same thing. Turn this roughness, and if you do less, it's not as shiny. And then if we want to even go more on the orange side, I think that looks better. This guy, we can do new, and I'm just gonna eyeball it and pick like a purple, like a nice purple. Looks good to me. And roughness, if you want that basically to be glaring off the lights, you can, but I like it less just the way the frosting is designed. This one is like a pinkish red, so click on new color, and let's see, probably like keep it like right here, but I turn out the roughness that way that that glare is not as bad. And then this one, this is like a teal blue, so yeah, looks right about there. And roughness, we can keep it like this. And then if we were to just drag this back to get rid of this, let's actually go on the left views, that way we have it like this. Let me get off this one. And if you don't know, if you did on accident, just go back to object mode and then click on the render viewport. So now that's what we have so far. And then again, if you want to tweak this, make this wider, always can click, drag it out. It's up to you. But from the design wise, this one looks much easier to make this. And then here, let's see, roughness. You can either do more or less. I think from this view it looks fine. And then if we were to, we need to scale this up first. Get rid of the empty and click on the eyeball and the camera, get out of the rendered. Click right here. E to extrude, Z, press it up. And we're still not done with the modeling. We're gonna add the sprinkles too. Don't worry, I won't leave that out. And then Command B or Control B to bevel, and then just scroll on your mouse wheel or on your laptop, depending on what you're using. And basically just form, like a curve. Right click, shade smooth. Now press 1. Press 0 actually for the camera. Click on the outline of the camera, shift asterisk, and then shift, and then WASD basically allows you to move it around. And by holding shift, you can move faster. So now we have it like right, let's see, like right about here. I'll keep it like right there. And then we can click on this backdrop, new, and base color, let's make it like a pinkish, to replicate somewhat of the thing of the actual empty, which is right here. And if you want to perfect it, feel free to play around with the colors, but I'll keep it like right about there. Then click on the backdrop, take the roughness out to closer to 1, that way it doesn't have that crazy glare. And then for the lighting, if you want to add new stuff like a sun, you can go add in the sun too for brightness. But for the most part, I'm gonna keep it just like this, because if we go to cycles, you can definitely see the difference. And then if you don't like this shadow, you can always go here, G, X, move it up a little bit, GZ, and then add some more lighting on the left side too. But we'll just keep it like that for now. And then I want to finish off by adding some sprinkles. So let's do Shift A, mesh, and cylinder, and then rotate. And basically, if you rotate Y, 90, like this, G, scale it down, let's move it up onto our guy, GX, move it up, actually GY, move forward. Scale it down, like really small, and then tap into edit mode. Let's go / to see exactly inside of it. And click on the face select, click right here, take off a portion of it if you have it. And first off, A, to select all, scale on the X only. It should be X, yeah, here. And then we can just add loop cuts, so let's add like 2. And that can select the face, go right here, right there, move it up, and then this face can be, like that. That way it's not like a perfect, let me go back to material view. It's not a perfect like cylinder, shade smooth, go here, subdivision modifier, 2, and then let's make sure we have it, yeah. So right now it looks like this, but I want to, technically go here and check out. And right now it doesn't look perfect, right? So we can go add some more loop cuts if you wanted to make it like more, like not as crazy. But the thing is, you won't even really see this in the render anyways, they're so tiny. So forward /, and then basically you can go here to face the magnet and face project. That's why it's easier to like move it onto something. And then now basically scale it whatever size you like, and then pretty much let's press O to see how this looks. So So this, and then basically go crazy with it. And there's ways to add particle systems to make it easier, but for this mod is super basic. So now I can just do Shift D, move some up here, rotate Z like that. Shift D again, over here, rotate Z, G, move it out a little bit so you can see it better. And then basically just put some all over the place, change up the color. So like I'll here, change this color to new. And then once you come up with about, I think like three or four colors, then technically you can go ahead and then just start duplicating those like crazy. And pretty much rotate, let's move it, yeah, let's move it like this. But then you can scale them too and make them different sizes. And then we'll go like right here and put some up there, rotate Z, G it up. And then let's just erase this one, make it like a teal blue, just like that. And then pretty much once you have your colors, I think the last one I'll put is a yellow. So let me go here and new, yellow, and basically like a bright yellow. And then I'll just move this a little bit more so you can see it. Sometimes the face light doesn't work perfect, but you know, good enough. And then you can actually put some like on the actual floor, like here, rotate them, make them look different, scale them down. And that way it looks like, you know, something fell. And then pretty much, you know, go crazy with it and put them wherever you'd like. And then basically after you've decided that you like the way it looks, then you can go ahead and switch to cycles, change the lightings if you want to, add some more lights if you don't like the way it looks. If it's too bright, go to like, you know, 200, 300. And again, always tweak it up however you want. And then basically go over to render image, and then that will be your view. So once you do that, go to image and save it as once it finishes. And make sure the sample size actually, it is, for this one you can do like 512. This is just a viewport, so this is not the actual rendered. So right here. And if you do notice like the pictures in the way, make sure you have it out of the render so that thing doesn't show up in your back unless you want it to. And aside from that, like and subscribe for more videos. See you in the next one.